My name is Amanda.
And I'm Kristin.
And we are the Exorcisters. So sit back, relax, and let's get mad. And creepy. Because we're doing two. We got a twofer for you. Welcome to episode 56. And in this episode, we are going to be, most importantly, discussing Black Christmas from 1974.
Mm-hmm, which is its 45th anniversary this year.
Yeah. We've gotten a lot of anniversaries this year. I mean, I'm sure that'll just happen every year. But we've
had some big movies.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah. And also going to talk about Black Christmas from yesterday. It came today is Saturday the 14th that we were recording this. It came out yesterday, December 13th, and we have some thoughts. Don't fucking see this movie.
Yeah, I mean, basically that's what it comes down to.
I think that we actually even talked about this in the theater because it wasn't very busy.
Yeah,
we would have walked out of this movie had we not been doing this for the podcast.
That's literally what I told you multiple times I really want to leave, which y'all know the only other movie that I've ever walked out of was Halloween from Rob Zombie. So that tells you how bad this is.
Listen, it's controversial because this whole entire movie is very political.
Yes. I respect what they were trying to do.
Well, I respect the premise on which they built this movie.
Yes. Feminism
and rape culture.
Yes.
So if you're uncomfortable with sexual assault and rape, this movie does have that in it. So I would kind of scrub ahead maybe 10, 15 minutes, see if we're talking about 1974, because that's not in the 1974 Black Christmas. But we're going to start off with talking about the one that we just saw from 2019. And when we saw this movie was coming out, we had mixed feelings about it, I think.
Well, yeah, I mean, nobody thought this was going to beat the original, but we didn't think it was going to be that bad.
Yeah, and people do that all the time. They take names of famous movies, cult movies, like Black Christmas. I wouldn't say it's super famous, but among the horror community, it is a cult favorite.
Exactly.
And it's easy to make money off of that name alone. Yes. People will go see it. If you like the original, you'll probably go see a remake, whether you agree with the remake or not. And this is not really a remake. They just kind of used the name and the premise of a sorority house. That's not that original.
Exactly. You could have done your own movie.
Yeah. Things I liked. All the Christmas lights.
Yes, I'm familiar with you.
I enjoyed all the Christmassy things. Yes. I liked...
Well, while you're thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
There are honestly only two things that I liked, which is kind of sad. They were really good things, but not enough to make a film about.
Yeah.
I really liked the character development. Good job, because I actually cared for these girls. I really liked them.
Yeah.
And it wasn't stellar acting, but I feel like they really portrayed their characters very well.
Yeah. It wasn't horrible acting.
Exactly. No.
I think that an actor's only as good as the dialogue.
Exactly. And the other thing that I really liked was they did a lot of callbacks to the 1974 Black Christmas, which was really cute. Like, right in the beginning, there is a statue of a unicorn, which everybody who's seen the old one knows that one of the girls is killed by that. There's one of the girls kills one of the guys in this movie with the cellophane bag, which is one of the kills in the original Black Christmas. There's a point when you hear a 911 call, and the address is 1974 Elm Street, and 1974 was the year Black Christmas came out. Those callbacks were great.
Yeah.
Not enough to make it.
No, and it's not enough to make a fan of the 1974 original a fan of your movie.
No.
So let's just talk about some of the issues. This was a political movie.
Yes.
And I am fine with that. Truly. Yes. I am fine with a political movie.
That's what horror's best at.
Yeah.
Like, good job.
It's very cultural and a callback to what's going on in society. But there's a way to do it. And I think that this bastardized the feminist movement. I think this bastardized fighting against rape culture and the rape crisis on college campuses. I just think that this movie... Okay, these are the issues they were trying to tackle. So let's just start there. It's very difficult to critique this because I agree with everything they were trying to do. They just, in my opinion, did not do it well.
No.
Do I want to fight for equal rights for women? Yes. Do I want to see them represented? And yes. Do I want to see people of color represented and have rights? Yes. Do I think that these white fraternity men should keep getting away with rape? No. And I think that we need to talk about that.
Right.
But people have talked about it in much better ways. than this.
Exactly.
So basically, the premise of this movie is there's a sorority house. Actually, it comes in, there's a bunch of sorority houses being attacked by this fraternity. But the thing is, I wanted to see a slasher movie. Exactly. That's what Black Christmas is. Even the one, we're not talking about the one from like 2005 or 2006 or whatever. But even that was just a crazy dude killing people. And this one, they took a fraternity and they made the entire fraternity an army of woman killers.
Yes.
Because they believe, and their founder believed, that women are subservient and need to be obedient and good little girls.
It's like the beginning of Handmaid's Tale.
Exactly. So this is a movie down with patriarchy, which, you know, okay, sure. But they did a lot of things wrong. And when you give the people that scream feminazi a leg to stand on, I think that's a problem for me because they made these characters incredibly stereotypical. They did not make them as powerful as I wanted them to be.
Same.
They just... I mean, the fucking... I'm sorry, I'm like stuttering because I'm mad.
Yeah, basically.
The fraternity is a fucking supernatural cult. What the fuck?
Yes, it was fucking stupid. I actually was with the movie until like the midway point, and then the girls get attacked in their home, which we've all seen in the trailer, and they're like in the kitchen and stuff. That was the moment that lost me, because before they're getting attacked, there's a conversation with one of the girls' boyfriends, and the dialogue is fucking terrible. It has no point to it. It's horrible. Like, they're trying to turn this girl's boyfriend, who's been great to her this whole time, into an asshole now. Like, what?
Yeah.
There are good guys out there. You don't have to turn every single one of them into horrible people.
Which is what this movie did.
Yes!
So it basically said that these fraternity brothers join this fraternity because they want to bring down strong women. And they are given supernatural powers. They are possessed by the founder of this fraternity, who was into black magic and stupid shit like that.
Stuff that doesn't need to be in here.
And they make them supernatural killers. Yeah. And they...
Why did it need to be in that? Like, you could have created them as people who just want to kill strong women. That was a possibility. The supernatural aspect brought nothing into it other than the fact that it could brainwash the good guys too. Like,
that's what it was. It was like they're saying that, you know, if you get a bunch of men together to talk about the patriarchy or talk about power or talk about women, then it's going to basically infect other men. I am not a man hater, and I don't like being, because they even talk about, like, one guy said not all men, and I completely understand. Like, that's bullshit, you know, the not all men thing. Yeah, but that's why women feel scared, because it's a lot of men. But they literally supernaturally turned these men into cult killers.
Or there's another quote at the very end. The guy from Saw, we see him in the previews, but he makes a comment of, men are tired of being, you know, pushed around right now, which I will state right here, that's fair. Men are getting the shitty end of the stick right now. They really are, because even if they don't do anything wrong, women are afraid of them, and they're starting to speak out, which is great, as they should. But honestly, it's because women and people of color have gotten the shitty end of the stick for a long fucking time. The tables have turned. Deal with it a little bit. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, and that's something that, you know, you can say not all men, but when it's most men attacking women and us being scared for our lives to get into an Uber, I will not fucking take an Uber. That's not my husband's fault.
Exactly.
That's not Connor's fault. But and there's a way to say that I think that this movie failed. Something that they did was the main character was raped by the fraternity president that has now graduated, and they didn't really address that very well. Her sisters were pressuring her to face him, and this is really sensitive. And again, if you are uncomfortable talking about sexual assault, please stop listening. If somebody raped you and you didn't want to face them, I would never say, you're a fighter, suck it up and go fight him. I would say, okay, I will protect you. I will shield you from him. Let's get out of here. Do not be in the same room as him. Like, this is getting really personal, and I apologize, but we've gotten personal on this podcast before, and our listeners, I think, know us pretty well. I was assaulted in middle school, and I wouldn't be in the same room as him for years.
Yeah. No.
And I would never want somebody to make me feel like I was weak because I wouldn't stand up to him. Absolutely fucking not. If you are still working through that trauma and you haven't, then these are honestly some real shitty friends, in my opinion.
There's one point where, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I kind of understand the other girl's side of it, where they had a video. They did this song basically pointing out how horrible this guy is that raped her. Yeah. And they did this song, and then they put it online, and it went, kind of viral. Yeah. And there's a point at the end where the girl who was raped literally says, this accuser, here he is, here's his name. Mm-hmm. And the fraternity's getting mad about it. Mm-hmm. So then she freaks out on her friend, and it's like, I understand why you're mad. Mm-hmm. Have a fight out with your friend, totally justified, but at the same time, it's done. It is out there. There's nothing you can do about it now. Yeah. So why are we really getting so frustrated about a video? You guys need to figure your shit out. Yes, right. But come on.
And it's just... this movie is incredibly sensitive, or insensitive, but even to talk about. And one of the things they did to this main character that was assaulted is they tried to give her a moment of redemption, and her whole entire character arc is, in taking her life back, basically. Yes. But what they did was they gave her a love interest who was turned into one of these cult members by whatever supernatural powers they inflicted on him, which not his fault. We know that. And in the end, he saves her.
That's not what your movie is about. Where did you lose your own movie? Yeah. She was supposed to, if anything, if he even had to exist, she should have saved him. Or at least she should have only saved herself. Like, what the fuck?
They had a man save her at the end.
At the very end of your movie just ruined the entire reason for your movie. Yeah.
Seriously? Which wasn't well done in the first place. It was the most in-your-face, non-nuanced, poorly put together feminism piece. And again, for a million times, I stand behind all of these movements very strongly. This just bastardized all of it, though, in my opinion. I think that this was poorly done. I think that men that see this will not hear it. I think that there's a way to do this to get people's attention and to get compassion and make a point and get people behind you. And this was not it. Yeah. This is very... I just don't really know how to delicately say how I feel about this movie, because they did put so many sensitive subjects and issues that need attention. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was done well, and I don't think it was done right, and there was no gore in this movie. It just...
But it was still fucking disgusting. Literally fucking gross. I'm a girl, but goddamn. Right in the beginning, one of the girls goes, I lost my Diva cup. And then her friend hands her a pad, and she puts it on right there. That is the first time I've ever seen that on screen, and honestly didn't need to. That never needed to be done. And then later on, you see her Diva cup on their Satan altar. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's somebody and they turned one of these women into an enemy and a traitor that working for the men. So she stole somebody's cup. First of all, TMI, I use a cup and I don't even like fucking touching it when it's clean. Right? That's disgusting. So, yeah, there's just not a good way to talk about this movie without pissing off one side or the other. And so I just don't really have much more to say about it, because I think that it was so bad.
It was terrible. Please don't go see it. I mean, I was both bored and infuriated. If you want those, go ahead.
Yeah. Yep. It just was not a good horror movie, and 1
out of 5. Absolutely terrible.
Yeah, 1 out of 5, definitely. And I want a woman direct. If you are a strong woman and you want to come direct a horror movie and you want to call out the, patriarchy and capitalism and rape culture and all these things, I will 100% support you. But this, in my opinion, was just not the way to do it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it was a male director and a male writer and all of that.
I think it was a female director, though.
Are you serious?
I'll look right now.
I'm pretty sure. A female director really treated her people like that?
I'm pretty sure a female did this. Let me see. You have to cut out.
Because, like I said, I liked the characters. I'm almost offended that you put those characters through that.
I mean, it's got a 44% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 3 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, director's a woman. Said Sophia. Wow.
2 women, screenplays.
Wow.
Director, and did the screenplay and direction.
That's really sad.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's really difficult to critique this movie. I mean, it only had a $5 million budget. Like, I'm not upset about the quality of the filming or the cinematography or the acting.
No, that was great.
I just don't like how it took these issues and didn't actually address them, but it made the men these weird supernatural cult killers. And I know that that's like a stab at, because they were even saying, we're going to take these men and possess them by the spirit of this, you know, misogynist racist from the 1800s, and we're going to put him in Congress and courtrooms. And I totally understand what they're saying. Mm-hmm. You know, the United States is run by big scary white men that want to put us all down. Okay, fine. If that's your opinion, I'm not going to really go into my political opinions, but I think we all kind of can assume how I feel about that. But man, like, I think that a lot of women will really like this, that are very passionate, but I'm not saying I'm not passionate. And I still just could not get behind the portrayal of what they were doing. You just shouldn't have added the supernatural element at all. They don't.
Yeah, that was fucking
saying stupid. They're only like this to be because they're possessed by this spirit. Like, I know they had to sign up on their own accord to an extent, but did they? Because all these other guys that didn't want to do it got possessed. So,
and there's multiple guys throughout the film trying to date rape these other girls. So obviously they're not all wholesome men in there.
Yeah.
What?
So I just wouldn't see it, to be honest. Like, I would see something that is going to be worth your time and also is going to take an issue and do justice to it. There's so many good movies about race and women and the power struggle and all that stuff, you know, and the come up and civil rights. And you just don't need this movie to do it. It was not good.
We've seen ones with great political commentary that were great.
Mm-hmm.
This was bad. This was a terrible one. Like, if you want your feminism stuff, go watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because that's what it made me want to watch. Something that's good.
Yeah.
But onto a good one.
Yeah. So
F that movie.
Black Christmas from 1974 has one of your favorite actresses in it.
Yes, and this is one of my favorite films of all time. So.
You actually had me watch this for the first time.
I did.
Way
when we
before
started talking.
Way before her. This podcast. Like,
yeah, I was like, you have to see it. You haven't? What?
In the I wouldn't say infancy of our friendship, because I was in my like third apartment at that point. And we had been friends for a couple years, and it was around Christmas, and you know, I'm like, I want to watch Christmas movies, and you're like, Black Christmas, and I was like, the one where he eats the flesh of people with the cookie, you're like, no, bitch, the actual one.
The amazing one.
So this is just a straight up slasher, and honestly, one of the first one. I mean, this came out, I think, the same year that Texas Chainsaw Massacre did, before Halloween, before Nightmare on Elm Street, before Friday the 13th, you know. So
Halloween was actually originally supposed to be the sequel to this, which is pretty cool.
Like the same, like he moved from sororities to babysitters, basically.
Basically, that's what the idea was conceived as, and then John Carpenter changed it. But yeah, that's what it was originally supposed to be.
Then you can see how other slashers were inspired by this one.
Exactly.
It wasn't, like, I don't know, the budget wasn't, you know, for the 70s, it was $620,000. And it was a modest budget, but they had good people. Olivia Hussey's in it.
Love her.
And
Margot
Kidder's in this, yep. And there's, again, you have a house of sorority sisters, and they're being hunted. This time in the original one, though, they're just being hunted by this crazy fucking stalker guy.
Right. Which is way scarier.
Yeah, I think so, too. What's scarier in the one we just saw is that there's a bunch of them, so when they kill one, another one just comes. Like, that's scary.
Yeah.
But they kind of know who's doing it.
Exactly.
You know, and this one, it's just one spooky guy hiding in rooms in the dark in the corner.
That they never find. Like, I know I'm giving away the end, but they never find that guy.
You think that it's this, they have a pretty good red herring, in my opinion. You know, you've got this character that is our main girl dating this guy who loves her a lot, mildly obsessive with her, in my opinion.
No, definitely.
And she gets pregnant, and she doesn't want it, and he's getting all fired up and angry, and so you could see how that relationship dynamic between them, talking about how she wants to get rid of the baby and he doesn't, and he's really upset about it, and she throws him out. You know, you're like, oh, okay.
Right. Where he would freak out and want to kill people.
Right. So it's a good, is that him? And there's some really, really spooky, good shots in this movie.
Yes.
Like, I know the eyeball thing just really gets to you.
But that's great. That's what it's supposed to do. When I'm going, oh God, it's coming, oh God. Because it's freaky. You see him, and when you see him, chill goes down your spine.
Yep.
Because you are her, and you're going, oh God, now I have to get up and run away before he fucking kills me.
Yeah. This is sound kind of fucked up. He kind of reminds me of Ted Bundy.
No, for sure. Absolutely, 1000%. That's what I think of when Ted actually went into a sorority and killed girls. I think of that.
Yeah. Which is super gross. But, I mean, they're unrelated. But it just, and what's scary about this one, unlike the one we just saw, this shit has really happened. It's not could. It has really happened.
Exactly.
And it's, you know, you take a bunch of, in their opinion and in his mind, you know, helpless women. But it's not even just about the women. They're just unsuspecting in their own home, and he separates them and kills them.
Exactly.
So especially because it's really ingenious to do this around a break, too, because if somebody goes missing, they just left.
Yeah, they thought they went home.
Yeah. Why would they be looking for someone who's not supposed to be there in the first place?
Exactly.
And I know that some people really don't like this movie. And I don't know why. Like, just in the threads that I read in the horror community, I see a lot of shitting on this movie. I think it's better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Way better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I mean, it's just scarier to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, if I just wanted to watch a nasty fuck 'em up slasher, yeah, I'd probably watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But if I wanted to watch a, like, creepy, on the edge of my seat thing, the suspense is really good, I would probably go for Black Christmas before I would go for any other slasher except for Halloween.
Exactly.
And I also just love, it really does feel very Christmassy. Some Christmas horror doesn't feel like Christmas.
No, I mean, you have carolers, and you can actually see more scenes of them just sitting by the tree and hanging out. They're just having a Christmas party before all of this shit goes down.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
You go up to go to the bathroom and somebody just think, oh, she probably just went to bed.
Yes.
They don't even want to... No.
Exactly.
And the kills in this are obviously much better than the one we just saw because they didn't even bleed real blood.
Yeah.
Side note. They were good. And the visuals with the kills, he wraps some girl up in plastic wrap basically and suffocates her. And her just, what is she, in a corner, I think,
he's
of
got
a shot?
Up in the attic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And that's scary as shit.
Yeah, or when the girl dies from the unicorn.
Yeah.
That honestly is beautiful. Like the way it's done and the Christmas carol going on and stuff. You're like, wow, that's gorgeous, but horrible.
Yeah. It's like a very holly jolly kill.
Exactly.
You know? And I honestly, this is going to sound like a weird thing that I enjoy about this movie that has nothing to do with the prowess of the movie itself. I love seeing sorority houses and like how... like they're laid out and you can't ever figure out. And the new one did this too. What's the layout of this house? It's very confusing and it keeps you guessing because you don't know where these girls are going or where he's at or where could he be, because it doesn't have a million fucking rooms in them. These are really old big houses.
Exactly.
And it's a perfect hunting ground because you can just, like I said, separate everyone so well.
That house, you can actually still visit it. It's in Toronto.
Is it just in like a film area, or is it on a campus, or is it just
it's a home? It's just a standalone house.
Just some neat. I would definitely buy a slasher house.
I know, right?
Paranormal houses, I don't like. I want to say that I would, but I don't. I guess it depends. Like I would buy the Amityville house because I think that's bullshit. I don't know if I'd buy the Conjuring house though. Yeah. But I would definitely buy a slasher house.
Exactly.
Like obviously, it's just a movie, but. Yeah, I would love to. And I wouldn't even care. Like, if people wanted to come gawk, I'd be like, come on in. Just like we did when we were at the Stanley. People, like, looking at our room were like, do you want to come in? Pretty sure we'll get in trouble for this. But you know what? You get to see the inside of this room. What's really sad, too, is you do have one parent involved.
And I love him. He's really sweet. And it's really sad that he loses his daughter.
And you really care about the characters.
Yes.
All of them,
yeah,
I
definitely.
think. Even the the Margot Kidder character that's real rough around the edges.
She's hilarious, though. I love her. She gets some kid drunk at this like Christmas thing that they're doing with Santa. Oh my God.
Yeah, she's not like a great person, but you still like her.
She's not a great person, but she's fucking funny.
She is really so, and the comedy is pretty good in this too. Like it hits really well. I don't really have a lot of problems with this movie because I just think it's really fun to watch. The phone calls are scary, and they do exactly what they need to do. And there's not a ton of things to walk through. It's just all these sorority girls are trapped in a house trying to survive, and it comes down to this one girl, and you think it's her boyfriend, and it turns out it's not, and they never find the killer.
Yeah, so the father that comes to town, he's waiting for his daughter. He thinks that she should have left already, and he knows that something's up. And he goes back to the sorority house, and there's this one scene that I keep thinking of, and I had never noticed before, but I noticed it on this viewing. He goes into his daughter's room, and he's wandering around. He, like, picks up a picture of her boyfriend, which is on her nightstand, which is fine. That's normal, what kids do. Yeah. If you look behind him, there is a full-size fucking poster of her boyfriend on her closet door.
You don't have a poster, Connor?
No, I don't. Who needs 2 pictures and then one of them being a full-size fucking poster? That's fucking weird.
That is really weird. Because this is kind of...
Especially in the 70s. That was expensive.
It is kind of gross, but it's not like you can do stuff to it. It's 2-dimensional.
Exactly, though. Exactly. It was so weird. The character of Phyllis, her name is Andrea Martin. She's the only character that came back into the 2006 movie.
Was she the sorority house mom or whatever?
I think so.
Oh, that's cool.
It's been a long time since I've seen the second one, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And she was actually also this is better. She was in My Big Fat Greek Wedding. She's the one where they had the babopsy that they had to do.
Babopsy? Oh my God.
That's her.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We make a lot of inside jokes about My Big Fat Greek Wedding. A bunt.
What you mean you don't eat no meat?
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was, this is a super side story. I was telling her that when I go down to Texas, my family has hunters and everybody does barbecue and meat. And I was like, I'm going to go down to Texas and it's going to be like My Big Fat Greek Wedding. And everybody's going to go, what do you mean you don't eat no meat?
Exactly. But it's fine because they'll hand you a bunt and you can put a plant on it.
Yeah, I went to my family's Easter this past year, and they were literally saying a prayer and, like, blessing everyone and whatever. And one of my I don't know if he's my cousin or uncle, he goes, except for the vegans. And I was like,
oh my fucking God.
How about we not assume things here,
You're
Jeff?
like a movie, damn it.
I'm like a
for the vegans.
Cultural traitor, man.
Jeez.
Except for the vegans. I was like,
sitting there like, you're calling me out.
You don't even know. I was about to be like, excuse me, just to make people feel awkward, but I just kept my mouth shut and ate my potato salad. And,
good job, because that's you. You're quiet.
Yeah. I don't really have much to say about it other than I really like it. It's really fun. It's not a particularly deep movie. Mm-hmm. It's just a stalker and going around killing people, and I really like it.
5 out of 5. I already told you guys it's one of my favorite movies.
Right.
So
I'd probably give it a 4 out of 5. So, yeah. Really good. As far as slashers go, though, this one's up there for me.
Good.
I'm really glad we did that.
Mm-hmm.
And just a little side note, we are done with 2019.
Yeah, this was our last movie to go see in theaters.
And our last, not our last episode to record for 2019, but our last movie episode to record for 2019.
Exactly. And we are going to do a wrap-up at the end of the year where we're going to talk about all the ones that we went and saw.
Yes. And we also have some news coming January 1st. There will not be an episode that day, but we will be uploading an announcement. So we're excited to share something with you guys moving forward. And you can look forward to that, a year-end wrap-up. And we have more than we could possibly describe scheduled for 2020. So since this is our last, it's not the last movie that you will hear us drop, but with our recording schedule, it ended up being the last movie that we recorded for the year. So we're really excited for what's to come. And we hope that we get to see you in 2020. But more on that later this month.
And next time, you don't want to be on his list. Till then, stay creepy.